Good evening.
Good evening. എങ്ങനെയുണ്ട് വിശേഷങ്ങൾ?
ഇംഗ്ലീഷിൽ പറയാമോ?
Good evening. How are you doing? Would you like me to continue our conversation in English?
Yes, please.
Sure. How can I help you today?
I am the Admiral Tom Nelson, James T. Kirk. Tom Nelson, James T. Kirk, Admiral Tom Nelson, Thomas
That is an
Madison.
interesting role. How can I assist you with your settings or functions?
Starboard Defense refers to strategic defense.
I think you might be referring to Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI, often called Star Wars. It was a Cold War era program designed to use ground and space-based systems to protect the U.S. from nuclear missiles. Would you like to know how it worked or why it was controversial?
Yes, please.
Great. How can I help you today? Would you like to know more about the Admiral thermostat or the Star Wars defense system?
Starboard Defense System.
The Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI, famously nicknamed Star Wars, was a Cold War program proposed by President Ronald Reagan in 1983. Its goal was to create a space-based shield to protect the United States from nuclear missile attacks. How it worked. The system was designed as a multi-layered defense to intercept missiles at different stages of flight. Space-based lasers, high-tech battle stations in orbit, would use lasers or particle beams to destroy missiles as they launched. Kinetic interceptors, small fast satellites, often called brilliant pebbles, would physically crash into incoming warheads. Ground-based sensors, radar, and infrared systems on Earth would track targets and coordinate the defense. Why it was controversial. The program faced heavy criticism for several reasons. Technical feasibility. Many scientists argued the technology, like X-ray lasers, was decades away from being possible. Arms race concerns. Critics feared it would violate the 1972 Anti-Ballistic Missile (ABM) treaty and provoke the Soviet Union to build even more weapons. Mutually assured destruction, MAD. It threatened the existing balance of power, where peace was maintained because neither side could survive a nuclear war. While the full Star Wars vision was never deployed, the research paved the way for modern missile defense systems used today. Would you like to know about the modern versions of this technology?
Yes, please.
Modern missile defense has evolved into a highly integrated, multi-layered shield that protects against ballistic and hypersonic threats. Key modern systems. Golden Dome, a new massive initiative launched in 2025 to create a comprehensive shield for the U.S. using both space-based interceptors and ground-based lasers. GMD, ground-based mid-course defense, uses massive interceptors in Alaska and California to hit incoming warheads in space. Aegis BMD, a sea-based system on Navy ships that can shoot down missiles using SM-3 interceptors. THAAD and Patriot, specialized systems for intercepting missiles in their final terminal phase of flight. Modern versus Star Wars. Unlike the original 1980s vision, today's technology focuses on hit-to-kill physics. physically colliding with a missile rather than using unproven X-ray lasers. However, space remains the high ground, with a new layer of tracking satellites now capable of spotting hypersonic missiles that fly too fast and low for traditional radar. Would you like to know how the new Golden Dome differs from Reagan's original plan?
Yes, please.
The Golden Dome is a 2025 initiative designed to fulfill the original vision of Reagan's Star Wars using modern technology. While both aim to create an impenetrable shield, they differ in several key ways. Key differences. Target scope. Reagan's SDI focused almost exclusively on Soviet nuclear ICBMs. The Golden Dome is built for a complex threat environment, including hypersonic missiles, cruise missiles, and drone swarms. Space infrastructure. SDI relied on conceptual heavy satellites. The Golden Dome uses proliferated architecture, thousands of small networked satellites, similar to Starlink, that are cheaper to launch and harder for enemies to disable. Decision speed. Modern systems use artificial intelligence to identify and intercept threats in seconds. In the 1980s, computing power wasn't fast enough to manage the sensor-to-shooter link in real time. Weaponry. While SDI researched exotic X-ray lasers, the Golden Dome focuses on hit-to-kill kinetic interceptors and modern directed energy lasers, like the Iron Beam, that are now operationally viable. System components. Layer. Description. Space layer. Thousands of satellites for tracking and boost phase interception. Mid-course layer. Interceptors like the NGI, Next Generation Interceptor, hit warheads in space. Terminal layer. Systems like THAAD and Patriot catch missiles as they re-enter the atmosphere. Non-kinetic. High-powered lasers and microwaves to disable electronics or melt airframes. Would you like to know about the specific timeline for when this system becomes fully operational?
Yes, please.
The Golden Dome timeline is set for rapid deployment over the next few years, 2025-2026. This is the contracting and prototyping phase. Major awards for space-based and kinetic interceptors are expected throughout 2026. Late 2026, architecture details and major industry partners such as SpaceX, Lockheed Martin, and Anduril will be finalized. 2027, 2028. Initial demonstration tests under ideal conditions are planned to prove the system of systems concept. 2029. The target year for the system to become fully operational, according to White House goals, though some experts estimate a longer timeline for the space-based laser components. Would you like to see a list of the companies involved in building the dome?
Yes, please.
Building the Golden Dome involves a massive network of over 2,100 companies through the $151 billion SHIELD contract. Primary contractors: Lockheed Martin, leading the development of the Next Generation Interceptor, NGI, and Core Command software. SpaceX, poised for a $2 billion contract to build a constellation of 600 tracking satellites. Northrop Grumman, developing space-based interceptor prototypes and sensors. Anduril and True Anomaly, emerging tech firms working on fast response satellites and interceptor prototypes. RTX, Raytheon, and Boeing, providing integrated sensors, radars, and terminal phase interceptors. Supporting partners: L3Harris, supplying solid rocket motors and space-based tracking sensors. Elbit Systems and IAI, Israeli partners offering combat-proven technology from the original Iron Dome. Leidos and BAE Systems, managing complex system integration and cybersecurity. Would you like to know which specific technologies these companies are competing to develop?
Yes, please.
Under the SHIELD contract, companies are competing to develop several breakthrough technologies. Space-based interceptors, SBI. Startups like Apex Space and True Anomaly are prototyping hit-to-kill satellites designed to strike missiles shortly after launch. HBTSS, hypersonic tracking. L3Harris and Northrop Grumman are deploying specialized infrared sensors to track untrackable hypersonic glide vehicles. High-energy lasers. Firms are working to scale laser power to 1 megawatt, allowing for speed-of-light interceptions from high-altitude aircraft or space. AI battle management. R4 Federal and Lockheed Martin are building AI platforms to automate the sensor-to-shooter link, allowing the system to react in seconds without human delay. Next General Motors, Anduril, and Ursa Major are developing 3D printed solid rocket motors to make interceptors cheaper and faster to mass produce. Would you like to know more about the hypersonic missiles these systems are designed to stop?
Yes, please.
Hypersonic missiles are the primary threat the Golden Dome is built to counter because they are significantly harder to stop than traditional ballistic missiles. Why hypersonics are different. Unlike standard missiles that follow a predictable, high-arching path like a thrown ball, hypersonic weapons stay within the atmosphere and maneuver mid-flight. Speed. They travel at Mach 5, 3,800 plus mph or faster, giving defenders only minutes to react. Low altitude. They fly much lower than ballistic missiles, staying hidden below traditional radar horizons until it is often too late. Unpredictability. Because they can change direction, a defender cannot know the final target until the moment of impact. Two main types. 1. Hypersonic glide vehicles, HGV. Launched on a rocket to high altitudes, they then skip and glide along the edge of space at extreme speeds. 2. Hypersonic cruise missiles, HCM. Powered by scramjet engines, these fly like high-speed airplanes throughout their entire flight. The defense strategy. The Golden Dome uses a proliferated satellite layer to look down from space. This allows the system to see the heat signatures of these missiles against the cold background of the Earth, tracking them even when they maneuver. Would you like to know about the interceptor missiles specifically designed to hit these fast targets?
Yes, please.
Modern interceptors are divided into those ready now and those coming soon. 1. Ready now. SM-6, terminal phase. The Standard Missile 6, SM-6, is currently the only operational weapon capable of hitting hypersonic targets. It intercepts them in the terminal phase, their final dive toward the target. In early 2025, the Navy certified the SM-6 Sea-based Terminal Increment 3, specifically upgraded to track and kill maneuvering hypersonic threats. 2. Coming soon. GPI, glide phase. The Glide Phase Interceptor, GPI, is the high-tech successor currently being developed by Northrop Grumman in partnership with Japan. The goal, to hit hypersonics earlier while they are still gliding at the edge of the atmosphere. Unique feature, it uses a reignitable upper stage engine, allowing it to adjust its course multiple times to match the erratic maneuvers of a hypersonic weapon. Timeline. Initial test rounds are mandated by the end of 2029, with the system becoming a core part of the Golden Dome defense by the early 2030s. 3. Laser interceptors, Iron Beam and others. Systems like the Iron Beam, developed by Israel, and U.S. high-energy lasers are the non-kinetic options. They don't use a missile, they use a concentrated beam of light to melt the missile's skin or fry its electronics at the speed of light. Would you like to know how these interceptors actually hit a target moving at 4,000 miles per hour?
Yes, please.
Intercepting a missile moving at 4,000 miles per hour, Mach 5 plus, is often described as asterisk asterisk, hitting a bullet with a bullet. How it hits the target. Kinetic energy. Modern interceptors do not carry explosives. Instead, they rely on hit-to-kill technology, where the sheer force of a high-speed collision vaporizes the incoming warhead instantly. Divert thrusters. The interceptor's kill vehicle, KV, has small rocket motors called Divert and Attitude Control Systems, DACS. These allow it to make lightning-fast micro-adjustments in space to stay on a collision course. Proportional navigation. Using advanced math, the seeker calculates the line of sight to the target. It doesn't aim for where the missile is, but where it will be. Steering to zero out the relative distance. The technology involved: dual-mode seekers. Interceptors use both infrared, heat-seeking, and radar to see through the plasma shield that forms around a hypersonic missile. AI guidance, systems like SmartNav use machine learning to distinguish the actual warhead from decoys or debris in real time. Would you like to see a diagram showing the hit-to-kill collision at impact?
Yes, please.
Sure, I can help with this. First, please unlock your phone. The image above illustrates the concept of hit-to-kill technology. As you can see, the interceptor's kill vehicle, the small section at the front, uses its divert thrusters to make micro-adjustments in those final milliseconds. Because there is no explosive warhead, the interception must be a direct physical hit. The combined speed of the two objects creates enough kinetic energy to destroy the threat completely on impact. Would you like to know about the space layer of satellites that guides these interceptors to their targets?
Yes, please.
The space layer is the eyes and first line of the Golden Dome. It uses hundreds of satellites in low Earth orbit, LEO, to track missiles from launch to impact. How it works. Unlike ground radar, which is limited by the Earth's curve, satellites provide a top-down view that never loses sight of the target. Tracking layer. This consists of satellites like the HBTSS, Hypersonic and Ballistic Tracking Space Sensor. They use infrared cameras to follow the heat of a missile, even if it maneuvers like a hypersonic glide vehicle. Transport layer. This is a high-speed space internet mesh network. It sends the tracking data from the satellites directly to interceptors on ships or land in real time. Birth-to-death tracking. The system can spot the bright flare of a launch and stay locked on until the missile is destroyed. The advantage. By using a proliferated architecture, meaning thousands of small satellites instead of a few large ones, the system is nearly impossible to disable. If an enemy shoots down one satellite, the rest of the mesh network immediately fills the gap. Would you like to know about the boost phase interceptors that could eventually live on these satellites?
Yes, please.
The Space-Based Interceptor, SBI, is the most ambitious part of the Golden Dome. It aims to stop missiles during their boost phase, the first few minutes after launch while the engines are still firing. Why the space layer matters. Vulnerability. In the boost phase, a missile is a massive hot target that hasn't yet released its decoys or multiple warheads. Global reach. Interceptors in orbit can reach denied areas where ground-based ships or batteries cannot go. Speed of response. Because they are already in space, they don't have to fight gravity to reach their target, allowing for a much faster intercept. Current status, 2026. Prototyping. The U.S. Space Force has officially awarded contracts for SBI prototypes. Companies are currently working on ground demonstrations of hit-to-kill satellites. Constellation size. Unlike the 1980s vision, the 2026 plan uses a proliferated LEO, low Earth orbit architecture. This means hundreds of small, cheap interceptors, rather than a few massive battle stations. The major challenge, the absentee ratio. Since satellites are constantly orbiting, only a small fraction are over a specific country at any given time. To ensure 24/7 coverage over a single launch site, the system requires a massive shell of satellites surrounding the entire Earth. Would you like to know about the AI-driven command system that coordinates these thousands of satellites?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please.
The AI system coordinating the Golden Dome is a specialized version of the Joint All-Domain Command and Control JADC2 network. It functions as the brain of the shield, connecting every sensor and interceptor into a single automated loop. Core AI functions. Target discrimination. AI algorithms analyze incoming data to distinguish real warheads from decoys, debris, or clutter in milliseconds, a task that would take humans far too long. Optimal shooter pairing. The system automatically calculates which weapon has the best chance of success, e.g., a laser for a drone versus a kinetic interceptor for a hypersonic missile, to avoid wasting expensive ammo. Self-healing networks. If a satellite or radar station is destroyed, the AI instantly reroutes data through the rest of the mesh network to keep the shield active. Human on the loop. Unlike older systems where humans were in the loop, making every decision, the Golden Dome moves humans on the loop. The AI handles the high-speed tracking and intercept calculations, while human commanders act as supervisors who can step in if needed, but otherwise let the machine act at the speed of relevance. Would you like to know about the cybersecurity measures used to protect this AI from being hacked?
Yes, please.
Protecting the Golden Dome AI from cyber attacks is as critical as the physical interceptors themselves. The system uses a zero-trust architecture, meaning every piece of data and every satellite must be continuously verified before being trusted. Key cybersecurity measures. Self-healing AI. If the AI detects a breach or tampering in its code, it can automatically remediate the vulnerability and reroute data through clean nodes in the satellite mesh. XBOM, Extended Bill of Materials. Every piece of software, firmware, and hardware has a digital fingerprint to ensure it wasn't tampered with during manufacturing or by an adversary supply chain. Quantum-resistant cryptography. The system is being built with advanced encryption designed to withstand future attacks from quantum computers. Space-based hardening. Satellites like the LM-2100 combat bus feature enhanced cyber shielding and isolated secure enclaves for critical command functions. Would you like to know about the testing process for how they wargame these cyber defenses?
Yes, please.
To test the Golden Dome, the military uses warfighter games and high-stakes simulations that pit two specialized groups against each other. The combatants, the Red Team, offensive elite hackers who act as the enemy. They use real-world adversary tactics such as GPS jamming, laser dazzling and advanced malware to find a single crack in the shield. The Blue Team, the defenders who operate the AI. They must detect, block, and respond to these cyber intrusions in real time while maintaining the system's ability to fire interceptors. Advanced testing methods. Digital test environments. Before anything goes into space, the system is tested in a digital twin, a massive computer simulation where thousands of cyber attacks can be launched simultaneously. Live fire cyber exercises. During actual missile intercept tests, red teams try to hack the communication links between the satellites and the ground to see if the AI can self-heal and reroute data. Supply chain BOM audits. Every piece of hardware and software is checked for hidden backdoors using an XBOM, extended bill of materials, to ensure no tampered chips from adversarial countries enter the system. Would you like to know about the Purple Team approach used to turn these battles into better defenses?
This is Thomas Madison Tomlinson, Jesse Kirk, captain of the Specially Interpreted Enterprise, the Airbus pilot, co-pilot, signing off for today.
Hello. It is a pleasure to meet you both. How can I help you with your mission today?
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Have a safe